When it comes to sitting your Leaving Cert Maths exam, your calculator is your best friend. Being comfortable and proficient with this device can be a difference maker in your final result. In a recent Leaving Cert exam, you could have boosted your maths grade by 7% using the tricks and tips I am about to show you. Some exam questions, such as standard deviation calculations, are extremely difficult to do by hand, but they're easy marks if you know how to do them on your calculator. Other tasks, such as repeated function evaluation, can be done quickly and precisely if you utilise your calculator's built-in functionalities. The time that you save here can be banked and put towards solving other questions. No calculator is made perfect, and the CASIO is no exception. Later in this video, I'll show you how to resolve the #1 student complaint about this calculator. The remainder of this video is split into 4 sections. First, I'll show you how to calculate the mean, standard deviation, and median of a dataset. Next, I'll show you how to quickly and efficiently perform repeated function evaluation on your calculator. Then, I'll show you how to change the settings to resolve the #1 student complaint with the CASIO calculator. Finally, I'll demonstrate a method for how to convert numbers into scientific notation using your calculator. The CASIO calculator can be used to find the mean, standard deviation, and median of a dataset. In this illustration, we'll work with a dataset that contains 8 numbers. To begin, we'll press the Menu button. In the menu that appears, the second option is for Statistics. To enter this mode, we'll press the To button. In the next menu, we'll need to select the One Variable option. We'll do this by pressing 1. Now, we'll need to input our data. We'll do this by typing in each of our numbers, followed by an equal sign. To begin, we'll type in 17 and then the equals button. The second number in our dataset is 8, so we'll type in 8 followed by the equal sign. The rest of our data can be typed in a similar way. Once all the data has been typed in, we need to press the Option button. This can be found in the top left corner with the letters OPTN. From here, we'll want to select One Variable Calc. We do this by pressing 3. The calculator will present us with a long list of statistical quantities. The mean, standard deviation, and median are contained here, but we'll need to know where to look. The mean has symbol x bar and can be found in the first line. The standard deviation has symbol sigma x and can be found in the fifth line. The median is not contained on the first page of results. To find it, we'll need to press the down arrow. On the second page of results, there's an entry called MED. This can be found on the fifth line and it will give us the median value. The CASIO calculator has a table mode which allows us to quickly and efficiently perform repeated function evaluations. We'll illustrate this with the following example. The profit that a company makes after selling X items is given by the function P of X is equal to 80x minus x squared minus 750. We need to use this information to complete the given table. The first step will be to press the menu button. We need to select Table Mode from the menu. We'll do this by pressing 3. At this point, we'll need to type in our function. In our example, we'll have to put in 80x minus x squared minus 750. We can begin by typing in the 80. Inputting the x is a little more tricky. However, we can do it using this red X which appears above the closed bracket. All we have to do is press alpha followed by the closed bracket button. Once we know how to input an X into the calculator, typing in the rest of the function is quite straightforward. Now that we're finished inputting the function, we should press the equal sign. The next screen gives us a prompt to input g of x. This can be useful if we want to evaluate two functions at the same time. However, in our question, we just have one function. So we can skip over this part by leaving it blank and pressing the equal sign. On the next screen, we need to input three values: the start, the end, and the step. We can figure out these values by looking at the top row of our table. Start is the first x value, and here that's 30. End is the last value, and here that's 65. Step refers to the jump between our numbers. In our example, this is 5. 30 plus 5 is 35. 35 plus 5 is 40. 40 plus 5 is 45, and so on. After we've input everything, we should press the equal sign. Our calculator now provides us with all the function values for the table. The x column on the calculator corresponds to the first row of our table, and the f of x column corresponds to the second row. This allows us to immediately fill in the first three blanks. The table we were given already had a value written under 45. It's 825. Thankfully, the output from the calculator agrees with this. This is a bit of a morale booster since it gives us confidence that we input the function correctly. To find the values for the rest of the blanks, we'll need to navigate downwards by repeatedly pressing the down arrow. One of the most common tasks that we need to perform in Leaving Cert Maths is converting a number from fractional form to decimal form. Thankfully, our calculator can do this for us. For example, let's say we had the fraction 325 over 751. To convert this to decimal, we'll type the fraction into our calculator and then press the equal sign. Initially, the calculator gives the fraction right back to us. However, if we press the S to D button, it will convert it to decimal form. All is well and good with our first fraction to decimal conversion. Unfortunately, things are not always as straightforward. Let's say we had the fraction 1 over 250. Again, we'll begin by typing in the fraction followed by the equal sign. Then we'll press the S to D button. The output our calculator gives us is quite strange. It says 4 times 10 minus 3. This is an expression that would cause a lot of confusion for many students. The issue here is that the calculator has decided to give the answer in scientific notation instead of decimal form. This is quite frustrating. In the best case scenario, you'll have to use your knowledge of scientific notation and spend some time and effort to convert this into decimal. In the worst case scenario, you'll find the output too confusing and you won't know how to move forward. The CASIO calculator, using scientific notation in places where it isn't necessary, is the number one complaint my students have about this calculator. Thankfully, there's a way to get around this. If you follow the steps I'm about to provide, your calculator will start giving its answers in decimal form. The best part about this is that you only have to do it once. Even if you turn your calculator off and on again, it will remember the settings change. To begin, we'll need to access the calculator's setup options. We'll do this by pressing Shift followed by Menu. From here, we need to select the number format option. We'll do this by pressing 3. In the next menu, we'll want to select Norm. To do this, press 3 again. The calculator presents us with 2 options, 1 or 2. By default, the calculator is in mode 1, and this is what makes it use scientific notation instead of decimal form. What we want to do is select option 2. We've now successfully changed the settings. Let's type in the same fraction as before, 1 over 250, and see what happens this time. This time, the answer is provided in decimal form, 0.004. This format is more understandable and much easier to work with than the 4 times 10 to the minus 3 that we got earlier. Sometimes Leaving Cert Maths questions ask you to convert a number from decimal form to scientific notation. If you know what you're doing, your CASIO calculator can help you here. In this illustration, we'll work with 2 examples. The first is a very large number, and the second is a very small number. We need to put our calculator into scientific notation mode. To begin, we'll need to open the Setup options. We'll do this by pressing Shift followed by Menu. Next, we'll want to select Number Format. We'll do this by pressing 3. In the next menu, there's an option SCI. This stands for Scientific Notation. So here, we'll want to press 2. We're now prompted to select a number between 0 and 9. This specifies the number of decimal places we want our calculator to keep. To be on the safe side, I recommend selecting 9. Our calculator is now in scientific notation mode. This means that if we type in any number, it will automatically convert it into scientific notation. Let's try our first example, 25650000. After inputting the number and pressing the equal sign, the calculator displays the answer in scientific notation. It's good practice here to ignore the trailing zeros. So our answer here is 2.565 times 10 to the 7. To tackle our second example, we'll type in 0.000084 and then press the equal sign. This time, our calculator has initially displayed the answer as a fraction. To change this to scientific notation, we should press the S to D button. Again, we should ignore the trailing zeros. So the answer here is 8.4 times 10 to the minus 6. Your calculator will remember its mode even if you turn it off and on again. So once you're done doing your scientific notation conversions, it's important to reset it back to decimal mode. To do this, you should access the setup options by pressing Shift and then Menu. Then select 3 for number format, 3 again for the norm option, and then 2 for option 2.